This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
Should I have gone with the 7812?
Well, the answer is easy in the sense that the 7812 doesn't exist anymore. No one has. If you're able to find those, you've found a unicorn.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So now, what we always need to be mindful of is what does the governing document say? So let's look at what the 7802 cut sheet says.
I think it says 35. Yeah.
You think it does, or you know it does?
I'm 98% sure.
Okay, well that's a pretty good percentage. So let me pull it up because I don't remember. I know it's in that range. Cut sheets. Yeah, so that's rated for 35 pounds. So at the end of the day, the 78, 11, 12, 21, 22 all would have been way too much bologna on that sandwich. Not enough cheese. I know out of experience that people have installed the 01 and the 02 variants. It's the same thing, obviously. Maybe not obviously. It's the same thing. On doors substantially heavier than what it's rated for. So while your door is heavier than what the factory states, my actual decades of experience tells me that you're as right as rain.
Okay, perfect. And then the other question I had for you, I've watched your videos. I love them. You're obviously a man passionate about his hinges. The side of the door, the doors are 1 3/4 inches. And so the side of the door that faces the hinge, I know they recommend that it has a pretty substantial radius on it. And I know that you talk about how much radius or not do you really need. So my thought is I will radius the edges, and I think it calls for 1.5 inches radius, but
that's an awfully big round over bit.
That's a lot. That's a lot of round over bit. So my thought was, maybe I'll try a something a little smaller, maybe a 3/4 or even a 1 inch round over, and I would think that I can tell. I should be able to tell. I would say pretty quickly whether or not the door is going to have any interference.
When Stuart Jackson drew that template for that, the engineer from Bommer, he probably, and I know him, when he's in the room, he's the smartest guy in the room. He probably was not thinking about the commercial availability of tooling for the average homeowner, or even very low volume for these doors, wood shops. How many of these do you do a year? The right answer is to pop it all into AutoCAD and simply know absolutely what margin, what radius, vis-a-vis the gap between the jamb and the edge of the door is going to be kosher. I can tell you that 3/4 inch radius is going to work perfectly.
Okay.
You can leave it square edge, and I think I have AutoCAD. I've dumped that into AutoCAD probably a dozen times.
Yeah, you did. I think you bumped it out about 1/8 inch and said even square it'll clear.
On paper it'll clear. If it was me, I would probably leave it at 3/16 if it was me. But if it was me, I would put it into AutoCAD. I wouldn't leave 60 thousandths gap there when the door was at whatever, 39 degree or whatever it really is to get that outside corner to the jamb. So now, are you painting the door?
Actually, the client, this sounds a little bizarre. She plans to upholster it.
Oh, fun.
With an alligator print, and I'm cutting a porthole, a 12-inch porthole in the top. So
awesome.
Kind of a bizarre.
No, not at all. Here in Southwest Florida, I've got a customer of mine who did manta ray skin in fabric panels, and it was if that's your taste. It's not my taste, but
not mine either.
Yeah, but the bottom. So obviously, you're going to be making allowances for that because that will have a thickness.
Yes.
So the reason I mention that is because if in my industry of architectural wood doors, wood doors in my business are basically plywood, right? They're either going to be 5-ply, 7-ply, 9-ply, whatever. But it's a core, and then you've got basically plywood. And let's say it's a 7-ply door, which means you've got plywood with 3 plies, the core, and then another plywood 3 plies. Now, in your mind's eye, look down the edge of that door as if the door is laying on sawhorses, and you kneel down and look at the stile down the long side. In your mind's eye, think about that 3/4 radius. What you end up doing is cutting through the plywood and very much accentuating the different layers of plywood that are the door skin. I did a job for a guy 25 years ago, a Polish contractor in Chicago. I got all of his business. He ordered 3080 or 3090 cherry for pivots. They needed it, whatever the radius was. I forget. Took my giant round over, ran it down the doors. Everything's beautiful. And the client freaks out because they can see the layers of the plywood. That's why I asked, because if you're staining it, to most people, that's going to be a real pull the fire alarm scenario in their mind.
Yeah, great point.
Yeah. That is school of hard knocks.
Okay. But it'll also add dimension to the width of the doors, if depending upon how they upholster it.
Absolutely, and I think that really needs to be determined. I think that needs to be determined. We did a 14 gauge hollow metal door, and then they were laminating 12 gauge stainless on both sides, and that really changes the rabbet dimension on your jamb, because 12 gauge stainless plus the thickness of the adhesive underneath it, that all really adds up. So time to pull the caliper out. Okay,
will do.
Awesome.
Well, you're a talent, and I appreciate the input.
Send me a picture of that alligator skin down here in Florida. I don't care to see them, and I know exactly where to find them out in the wild. But I'd love to see it. That kind of stuff is super cool. So it gets boring selling hinges all day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, my best friend owned and his father for 50 years owned a company here in Chicago called Laystrom Busher.
Oh, stop.
And Laystrom.
Oh, stop.
Busher.
My great-grandfather was Chicago Builders Supply, so Laystrom Busher and Chicago Builders and Ken Lee and Contract and Shoeham. I mean, that's where we're from, Chicago. Laystrom Busher was up in the northern suburbs. I mean, they were in Wheeling, weren't they?
Wheeling.
Yeah.
In fact, I had lunch. Art Laystrom is my best friend. And
is he still alive?
His Art Laystrom, the father.
Yeah.
The father's dead, long dead.
Yeah.
But the son is 70. I think he's my age. He's 73, 74, and but he literally just sold the company last year. Yeah, I was in his shop because I lived in Prospect Heights, right at Wolf and Camp McDonald. Probably a decade ago. They had ordered something or what, I don't remember what the deal was. But you mentioned to him that you talked to the great-grandson of Chicago Builder Supply, and that will probably ring a bell in his head. Oh, I'm sure it will. Yeah. He is. Laystrom is an institutional. He has been my best friend for. We started playing golf together, I think, 17, 18 years ago. And we are basically the same age. We do the same things. People sometimes, mistake us for brothers. But yeah, I just had lunch with him yesterday. I see him every week. We're doing something. But I will definitely let him know.
Yeah,
we were talking about the bomber hinges yesterday.
Yeah, he'd be able to walk you through it as well. There's no doubt, or I would imagine that he'd be able to. I know they were doing some door work there, and I think it was related to me going to their shop.
I said to him yesterday, I said, I'm getting ready to order some bomber hinges, and I said, could you get me a good deal on them? He said, I could have at one time. He said, but
if you had a time machine.
He said, we probably only sold 2 a year or something like that. They really weren't that popular.
No. Well, Laystrom is in a different segment of the market. They get involved in contract-based bid work. So
yes, correct.
They're not going to run across that stuff only because of the segment of the industry that they're in. They're going to compete against the LaForces of the world. They're just going after contract. And for me personally, and I'm sure Art will not disagree, that's a race to the bottom. Single-digit markups, pass, no thanks, back charges, contract, and especially Chicago contractors. They stand alone when it comes to the capacity to be low class. That's for sure.
Good description.
Yeah.
Good description.
It's like saying insufficiently early. Yeah. Okay. Well, awesome. We've got those.
Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. We still had, I think we still have 6. I doubt that you'll ever need them again, but once those are gone, the only replacements are Chinese-made units by Deltana. They creak, they don't fit the same prep, and they are patently inferior to what was coming out of North Carolina since 1876.
Yeah, it's amazing because I have asked around, and I said, if nobody's making them anymore, somebody's got to be making even the Chinese, and nobody could even tell me who the replacements were. Yeah,
no, they're out there. It's you can definitely do it. It's just if you ever encounter them again and all the bomber is absolutely gone, call me. My name is Richard. I'll be happy to point you in the right direction.
Super. Thank you so much, Richard.
Awesome. Thanks for calling.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it.
An 1/8 inch at the top and 9/16 at the bottom. Is that?
Well, I'm not looking at the template, but my memory tells me is that it's 9/16 at the bottom. So you need an 11/16 undercut. Prefit on that height from the finished opening.
Another thing is on left to right. I have a 3/4 roundover to cut both sides of the inside near the jamb to round that off, and then according to the template, it's asking for 3/8 of an inch between the door and the jamb.
I don't think that's right.
No?
It's definitely not calling for a 3/8 gap between the jamb and the edge of and the style of the door. No way. 1/8 of an inch will work.
Okay. And then this is actually going to be 2 16-inch doors that are it'll be like a cafe door. So they're going to swing either way. Do you have any idea what the distance needs to be between the 2 doors where they meet? I was assuming around 1/4.
I don't think you need it that much. I think if you have an 1/8 of an inch all over, you're good. I mean, you got a 3/4 inch round over bed.
But would you round over the left side of the door and the right side of the door if they're cafe doors?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, sure. They got to operate independently of each other. No,
but to clear each other. That's what I was.
Yeah.
That's what
you're good. you're gonna do a round over on both faces of the door, on both styles of each door. That's how I would do it.
Okay, perfect. That answers my question.
Right on.
Thank you so much.
Sure thing. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.